Don't do it. Yo, this is gonna be a rant, but I want to talk about something, man. Listen, if anybody that's out there listening, you maybe not be listening, whatever. I don't care. I'm gonna put this out here. Never compromise yourself just to fit in with the crowd. You hear me? I know that sounds like an old cliche, but it's true. It really is true. Never put on a mask. Never put on a facade when it comes to being a part of a group, being a part of a clique, being a part of some type of engagement party or whatever. Never do that. Because I'm letting you right now, once you do that, you're not truly living. In order for you to truly live, you have to embrace your own skin. You have to embrace the content of your character. And when I mean by the content, I'm talking about I'm talking about cultivation. All of the things that makes up you has been cultivated throughout the years. That's content. That's character. The content of your character. You know what I'm saying? And that's been cultivated throughout the years. And for the most part, you cannot buy that at a store. You cannot buy a strong character at a store. You know what I'm saying? This is not a video game. This is not something you can get for DLC content. You know what I'm saying? It has to be cultivated throughout the years of your life. That's why it's known as the content of your character. But never compromise who the fuck you are just to fit in with the crowd. Because if you don't, you're basically killing yourself. Not a physical death, but you're killing yourself from a mental and spiritual aspect. And in my honest opinion, that's way worse. That's way worse than a physical death. Because if you're killing yourself mentally and spiritually, you'll become an empty shell of yourself. You get what I'm saying? You're not truly living. In order for you to truly live, you have to embrace your skin, know the content of your character, and do for self. Plain and simple, man. Listen, I understand that we as humans are social creatures. I understand it. And I understand that we as human beings need companionship. Trust me, I get that. But at the same time, it should not cause your character and your integrity just to fit in. Because I guarantee you, you're not going to be living. You're going to create you're going to kill yourself, man, mentally and spiritually, if you put on a facade just by joining a group of people. In the end, you're going to cause a spiritual death. You're going to cause a spiritual death, man. And you don't want that. You do not want that. And in my honest opinion, sometimes it's best to walk alone than to join with a group of people that's not fit for you. I'll say it again. Sometimes it's best to walk alone than to fit in with a group of people that you're not meant to be with. Because I realize, man, a lot of people are just fake and phony. They're two-faced. They smile right in your face and they stab you right in the motherfucking back. And motherfuckers have ulterior motives too. And you know what is so fucked up too? People will always say, well, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? Okay, I get what you're saying when it comes to a business aspect, when it comes to exchanging of goods and services. But motherfuckers are so damn petty and so damn fucking into themselves. They will always say, oh, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? And it's like, okay, it is what it is. It just lets you know that people are just in it for themselves and they don't give a damn about nobody else but themselves. And that's okay. That's all good, which is all right. But when it just lets me know that when it comes to the less unfortunate, they can give a damn about them. When it comes to homeless children, they can give a fuck about them. I realize that. Man. A lot of people are so fucking selfish and greedy. They so selfish and greedy to the point that when it comes to the less unfortunate, when it comes to the elderly and the children, they can give two shits about them. And they be like, oh no, I care about them. Yeah, all right, whatever. We'll see about that. People talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. See, a lot of people talk all that good shit, but they don't really walk the walk. You get what I'm saying? They don't really walk the fucking walk. They just talk a good game. But when it comes to actually putting in the work, they're nowhere to be found. You know, and like they say in the streets, fuck what a nigga say, and watch what he do. Watch what he do out here in these streets, and you will finally understand the person that he or she really is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. But there's another reason why I'm talking about this too. There was a guy from the wrestling industry. He's well known in the American wrestling industry. His name was Mean Gene Okerlund. I repeat, his name was Mean Gene Okerlund. Now he was an announcer guy, you know, for the WCW and also for the WWF back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. Now this man was a legend. Like I said before, he wasn't a wrestler. He was a wrestler. He was an announcer, and I think he was a commentator too. You know, by interviewing the wrestling stars and all that stuff before they go to their matches and all that stuff. See, he was a legend. He was an icon in the industry, and for the most part, for what I've heard, they said that he was well liked with the guys, with the fellas in the industry. You know, the workers and all that stuff. They say he was well liked. He was well liked with the fellow wrestlers and the workers in that company. Now, Mean Gene passed away a few years ago, and Diamond Dallas Page. There was an interview, right? Like 2 or 3 years ago. That was a interview. There was an interview that started with Diamond Dallas Page, and Diamond Dallas Page said in the interview. He said that before he got to the funeral, he thought that it was going to be a who's who. You know what I'm saying? Before all that, when he got the word that Mean Gene Okerlund died, you know, he was kind of shocked. You know, he was surprised, you know. But then, you know, before he got to the funeral, he thought that it was going to be a who's who. He thought that a lot of people was going to attend at Mean Gene Okerlund's funeral. But man, once he got there, it was mostly, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, if I'm not mistaken, it was mostly his family members. But when it came to the people in the wrestling industry that he worked with, only 6 people, I repeat, only 6 people came to his funeral. You hear me? The people that he worked with for over 20 years and all that stuff, talking about, oh, he's well liked and all that, you know, he's a cool fella. Only 6 people came to his funeral from that industry. And Diamond Dallas Page was very upset. He was upset to the point that he started to tear up. He started crying a little bit because he knew that this is very disrespectful. This is very tasteless. It's very tasteless because Diamond Dallas Page used to hang out with Mean Gene. So he understood the whole concept of Mean Gene and the guys hanging out with Mean Gene and all that stuff. You know, he thought that, you know, a lot of people from the industry was going to come to see Mean Gene, was going to come and pay the respects to Mean Gene's funeral, but they didn't do that. And Diamond Dallas Page was very disappointed. And I'm just saying right now that when it comes to situations like that, it just lets you know that motherfuckers ain't shit. You had a guy by the name of Mean Gene Okerlund, a so-called well-liked individual in the wrestling industry. But when he died, when that man died, only 6 people from that industry that he worked for over 20 years came to his funeral. Only 6 people. Now, you know, in the wrestling industry, there's like tens and hundreds of people that used to work through there. You meant to tell me that only 6 motherfuckers came to his funeral just to pay their respects to the legendary Mean Gene Okerlund, and he's supposed to be well liked in the industry? That lets you know that motherfuckers ain't shit. Oh, and here's the kicker. Here's the kicker part. Here's the kicker. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong now. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think Vince McMahon came. And that was his boss. You know, Vince McMahon, the boss of the WWF, WWE, you know, and all that stuff. I don't think he came to his funeral. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Eric Bischoff came to Mean Gene Okerlund's funeral. And Eric Bischoff was the co-owner of WCW at the time or whatever. I don't think he came to the funeral. It just lets you know that motherfuckers ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? They fake and phony. Like I said before, they smile in your face and they stab you right in the back. And I said to myself, I make a declaration right now. And I'm gonna say this right now on YouTube. I don't give a fuck who gets offended. Well, a lot of you motherfuckers don't give a damn anyway, so I'm gonna say it anyway, for my own sake. Whenever I die, I don't want no motherfucking funeral. I don't want no funeral because I realize most of y'all motherfuckers are fake and phony anyway. Y'all never did like me. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers never did like me anyway. And here's the crazy part. I wasn't even paying attention to y'all. I was just doing my own thing. But you know how people just want to hate for the sake of hating? That's how people are towards me. So you know what? To hell with that, man. So when I die, man, I don't want no fucking funeral. You know what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers ain't no good no way. Yeah, I said it. And you know what, too? And I told my mother, too. I told my dear mother that whenever I die, I don't want no fucking funeral. I don't want no fucking funeral. You know, I said dump my body in the garbage or whatever, incinerate my body. I don't give a fuck, man. I don't want no motherfucking funeral. Because I realize that people are just full of shit. They're no good. They're no fucking good. You could be one of the coolest motherfuckers out in the crowd, but they can still easily smile in your face and stab you right in the back. And one good example that I just said was Mean Gene Okerlund. He was one of those so-called cool guys that was a part of the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the industry knew him. Everybody in the industry used to talk to him. You know, I won't say not every. I'm not gonna say everybody, but a lot of people in the industry, used to hang out with Mean Gene and talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was one of the boys, I should say. He was one of the fellas in the industry. Because he was, a pretty damn good worker. He was good at what he did as far as the company goes. But when he died, only a few people came. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that a bitch? You could be one of the coolest, you could be one of the most popular motherfuckers in that group, and motherfuckers will still backstab you. Ain't that a bitch? So like I said, man, when I die, I don't want no motherfucking funeral. Because most of you motherfuckers ain't shit anyway. But that's all I gotta say about that, man. That's all I gotta say. It just is what it is, man. It just grinds my motherfucking gears on how people really are, man. It just is what it is. But that's all I gotta say, man. That's all I gotta say. Rest in peace to Mean Gene Okerlund, man. Real talk. Real talk, man. If motherfuckers ain't gonna show you no love like that, I'll show you some motherfucking love. Rest in peace to Mean Gene Okerlund. Real talk, man. You was good at what you did, man. When it came to announcing, when it came to being an announcer, man. Real talk, man. Real talk. May he rest in peace. And that's all I gotta say. So yeah, man. So I thank you so much and have a good day.